Hello everyone, it's Ramin Khalili here, and today we'll learn how to build a simple calculator with RShiny. If you have watched my previous video, you are already familiar with RShiny. If you haven't watched, I highly recommend you to watch it for the sake of yours. So let's begin. In order to create a simple calculator with RShiny, we need a library. So we start with library. We need a Shiny library. We run it. We call the library. Now we need a user interface. So we assign user interface. So what we'll choose here depends on what kind of a web page we want, what kind of page we want. Here I want a simple one-page scroll down page. So we'll use float page here. That's fine. Now whatever I'll choose here will appear in our app. So what I want in calculator, I want two numbers and one operator. I will choose a first number and then operator, then the second number, and the result will be our output. For example, I'll choose 5 as an operator plus, and the second number 2. 5 plus 2 is 7, so the output will be 7. So I need the first input. So here I can choose, we can have a lot of things. We have select input, for example. Select input is a scroll down. I will give choices, let's say 4 choices, and out of 4 choices I'll choose one. It will be drop down, but I don't want drop down for numbers because it will be illogical. We need numbers are continuous, so I can input any kind of numbers. So I want something that I can type in. Okay, so for this I don't use select input but text input. Obviously, we'll have an input ID, as I have discussed earlier. This is for referencing it in the server. We have input ID, which is N1. We'll have a label saying number 1. It will appear in our app, number 1. And yeah, and placeholder, which means what will be in default in the place of number 1, which is nothing. There'll be empty string. So that's done. Now the second one, okay, let's run this. Okay, user interface. We'll have a server, as I've discussed in the previous one. It's always like this: server function, input output. We need user interface and server in order to create any kind of app with Shiny, with anything with that matter. We created our server, and with Shiny app we combine them both, UI and server. As you saw, I didn't do anything in the server part. I just left it empty. For now, it's okay. It's not good like that. So yes, here as you can see, we can type something. Okay. Now we'll choose our operator. For operator, I will not choose anything for typing in because we only have 4 operators, so drop down will be okay. So I select input. Select input. Again, input ID. We always need input ID. I'll call it OP. So as a label, it will be operator. Okay, it will be operator. And here we'll have choices. Okay, in text input we'll have placeholder because we don't have choices. But in select input, in drop down, we should have choices, and it will be vector C parentheses, and the choices will be obviously plus, minus, multiplication, and division. And now we go to our second number. Okay, now we go to the second number. It'll be the same, just, and I'll call it N2. Label will be number 2, and that's it. Let's run this again. As you can see, we can type in 2 different numbers and we can choose from drop down our operator. So this part is done. So this is okay. This all happens in user interface, but we want an output. We want a response to our actions. For this, as I have discussed in earlier video, that we need to do that in server part. Okay, obviously we'll have an output. Okay, in order to have an output, I should specify it in user interface as well. So I'll have a text output. Okay, I'll have a simple text output. I call it result. If I have table output, I would specify table output. Plot output, then would be the plot output. For now, text output is okay. I mean, even though 5 plus 5, 10 is integer, but it will be a string as a result. Okay, it will be string. It's string for the R. Okay, in the background it's a string, and it will show a string to us. So that's fine. Text output. Output $sign result. We need to reference to that result, and we will assign an output to this. Okay, output $result. And here we'll have render what. So if the output would be image, it would be render image. If the output would be plot, some kind of line chart, bar chart, then it would have render plot. Or let's say the output will be a table, then would be the render table. But for us, for now, render text is fine. So let's go. Let's assign n1, which is input at n1. So again, n1 here is the name of, okay, is the name, I mean input ID, n1, and this is an input, right? We write input $n1. N1 is the name of this select input, so we choose 1. Okay, whatever we'll choose as a number 1 will come here and will be assigned to n1. So this is obviously string now, okay, but whatever we place here will be string for R, so we need to specify as integer, as integer, so that is fine. And n2 the same as integer, input $n2, this time referencing to the second number. And our operator will be again input $OP. Okay, we assign these things, and now let's do our conditioning. Okay, if operator equals plus, then please add number 1 and number 2. If operator equals minus sign, then please subtract n2 from n1. Again, else if operator equals multiplication, please divide n1 by n2. So this is a simple thing now. Okay, I'm sorry. that was a mistake. Multiplication, and we have one more else statement, else, which in our case it is division, else please divide n1 by n2. So for multiplication we just multiplied n1 by n2, so that is all fine. So let's run these three. Yes, 12 plus 12 is 24, 12 plus 11 is 23. We can choose minus here, which is 12 minus 11 is 1. Multiplication is 132. We can divide and thing. We can do lots of things here. We can choose any number, and as you can see, the output is rendered here. Okay, we can have also minus number, it's fine, we can see our output here. But what if I divide by 0? Let's see. I divide by 0, infinity. I don't want that. I want an error message here. So I will have one more if condition here. If, okay, actually I would have a if condition here. Okay, here else. Okay, let me validate. So validate is for validation. Okay, validate need. Okay, need expression. I need n2, which is the second number, not be 0. If it is, please throw an error message. Error, cannot divide by 0. Let's run this. Okay, if I try to divide by 0, this time I get an error, cannot divide by 0. We can do it in browser as well, in Google, which is cool to play with, honestly. So yeah, that is our simple calculator that you can play around. It's simple, and if you haven't understood anything, you can write in the comments, and I will try to answer as soon as possible. So yeah, thank you very much for your attention, and see you later, guys.